Alrighty, we got the desktop changed for you guys. Now we're going to show you something that I forgot to tell Paul Sneap. How do you get set up for running modded cars along with the Kunos cars, and what do you need to do specifically for cars that are made by me? Or not made by, but adjusted by. And I'll show you how to do it right now. It's really not very difficult. Let's go to our computer. I've got a brand new hard drive right here, 2 terabytes of SSD Samsung. So I made a folder here called Dealership Assetto Corsa Mass Storage, and it was on the 1st of August. So if you open it up, you'll see the tracks. There's C1. There was supposed to be more tracks than that, I thought. But whatever the deal. Here's my Kunos cars. The reason I spell it like this is because if you do an integrity check, and every folder that you have that says cars on your computer, regardless of what hard drive it's on, it's going to sniff the folders out. And if it's going to, let me try to not cuss on this one. It's going to look for anything named cars. And it's going to look in there for Assetto Corsa cars, and if there's anything different about those Assetto Corsa cars, it's going to set it back to stock. So it doesn't know what this word is, and that's why the Assetto Corsa cars are stored right here, and I always keep them pristine. I want a pristine folder with just Assetto Corsa cars. Now, as you can see, this little guy snuck in somehow, and he's happy as a mouse. He's a good boy. Let's take a quick look at him so you can see what he is. There's Humble's mouse. Let's come here, little mouse. Where's your preview? There he is. He's a fabulous little car. I wanted to set him in here amongst the rest of them because I didn't want to lose the little guy. Because he's a little sweetheart. That thing is fabulous. Actually, he really shouldn't be in here though, because he could get monkeyed with on an integrity check. So let's make sure we make a copy of him. Copy. Okay, now let's go to the regular Kunos Assetto Corsa file. We're right in their folder. Kind of bear with me a little bit. I took a nap this afternoon. I'm a little bit unsure of myself for a little while once I get up from a nap. Program 86. Come on down to Steam. Come down to Steam Apps, to Common. There's Assetto Corsa. This is what's known as your main folder. If you double click it and open it up, this is where you're going to come down to apps and cache and CFG and content and what have you. But if you open up the content, I made a mistake, Paul. I said that you put the cars folder in your main folder. I was wrong. It goes in your content folder. So open up here, and this is where your cars folder is, right here. And this is where we're going to put the little mouse. There he goes, happy as a mouse. So we've got him in here to play with now. But you'll see a smattering of Kunos cars. Generally speaking, they're ones that I've worked on a little bit and changed this way or that way. And that's why I bring them into here. Now again, I think I said the last time, but I'm not 100% sure. The reason that I have different car garages is because if I'm working on certain cars, or I have an idea for a video or what have you, and I'm going to modify, say, 5 or 6 cars, it's so much easier to find those 5 or 6 cars if they're in a garage of their own, or a folder of their own, however you want to say it. It is a folder, but I call it garages. And since Kunos only sees the cars that are in the cars folder, you name it cars. And it doesn't see Humble's favorites, and doesn't see Indian, doesn't see late June or late November or old bench or any of the rest. They just sit in there. Now they do take up space. Don't fool yourself. They take up lots of space. So if you don't have a lot of space, you're not going to have a lot of room for cars. But the cars that I'm going to be using in Assetto Corsa at any given time, I could name this squirrel or hamster or woodchuck or parakeet, if I could spell parakeet, which that might be a stretch. but something you will understand. Cars I was just no. If you do spell cars I was just using, say K-A-R-Z. K-A-R-Z I was just using. Don't have the word cars anywhere in the whole situation, because it could be confusing to Assetto Corsa when it's looking for what you're going to do. So as far as we've covered this pretty good, you understand that pretty well. Your main texture folder is down here, and that's got all the places for your clouds and everything else that you would be wanting to use is in here. Okay? But now, that doesn't help you set up the cars. So come on, let's go get that done right now. Let's just realize that this is the common Assetto Corsa content. It goes in the content folder where your cars folder should be. And the ones that you're going to be using are right here. Bing! Okay, so let's go over to the content manager and open him up. Hang on, I didn't double click properly. Let's just open him up nice. Now I got to change the settings because the appearance is 150 and that's too big for us. Let's go down to 125 and then maybe you can see this even better. So what do we have to do for this? Let's go to drive. Okay, and there's the little car I was running yesterday. So what do we do? Now, the strangest thing, and I'm glad that I found that one comment by Paul Sneap, would you tell me how to adjust Assetto Corsa so your cars run properly? You would never think to do this. But see, tire blankets is checked. It can be checked. It just means your tires are warm when they start out. They're not green when you start out, and then they eventually warm up, which is nice. It's a real simulation thing. If you want them to start out green and then go to warm as they go around the track, you'll notice that they handle a whole bunch better. But if you follow the line over to those three little balls and touch them, it brings up this thing right here. Load assist with quick drive presets global, unchecked. Automatic shifting, unchecked. Auto blip, unchecked. Automatic clutch, unchecked. Ideal line. This will give you the ideal line on the course, which will show you the best way to get around. Or you could just watch Single Racer or his brother Andrew and they will show you. But traction control is right here. If you come to the drop down arrow, it'll be factory or on, or for my case, off. I don't want the traction control. All but stop, they call it anti-lock braking. Yeah, well, I've had that on a few cars. It's all but stop. In the cold and snowy weather, you can end up in deep shit. Okay, this is factory on or off. You want it off. Traction control off, ABS off. I don't use any stability control. I leave the fuel consumption exactly the way it is. Same with tire wear and same with slipstream. Mechanical advantage, damaged engines, gearbox, suspension, and believe me, tires. Any of my burnouts would have blown those tires right down to the rims within about 5 feet of the original dropping of the clutch. So it's off. Okay. And you can name it what you want. Pro Humble is what it's called. That's what I call it. So if you wanted to change on the fly back to stock, you could easily do that. That's why it's a preset. If you look here, gamer, intermediate, pro, it'll tell you what's on. Look at how nice it is. And Pro Humble, there isn't that nice. That's the easiest way I could possibly share that with you. And I just thought of it now. So this is offered by Kunos, I guess. Intermediate is right here, and that shows you if you're just getting started. Now, if you're a gamer and you want all this stuff, there you go. You can have it. So isn't that nice about this whole thing? But that's the deal right there. Call it whatever you want to. But this is how you do it, and it's that easy. Within this one little place, you're good to go. You're a happy person. Save preset, share a link. So that's how it is. Now remember, it's right here, right under the car. Right under the car in the main place, right next to tire blankets. Come over to the little three balls. You got it made right there and then. A lot of these skins I did not show you. that I made for the car. As a matter of fact, this is a real all of Uncle M's models are really, really, really nice cars. There's nothing you can say other than he's a real champion when it comes to taking the blueprints and making a beautiful car. Sometimes, though, well, for him particularly, some things mean more to him than others, just like all of us. Let me get a couple lights on in here. If you didn't know that, you can add lights in the showroom if you need to, if you find you can't really see very well. And I want to see on this side of the car, and we could probably do it through going to scene and then changing where the light's shining to some degree. I bet you we probably could get light, we can, shining on this side of the car, which is what I wanted to do. All right, well, good enough. But I'm still going to go back to lights, which I probably could have done it just by hitting the T, which I did. And now we're going to drag this over here so I can see real good. And this one can come forward. And this one can just go straight up or put it wherever you want to. It's up to you, wherever you want it to be. But you do have to get outside and look around to see where in the heck did I actually put these things. And how are they going to benefit me or not. Now once you get done monkey, and it shows you right here. If we went back to scene, see see this little bugger? Look at him go. Now, if you've ever wondered how you adjust that and see where the thing is,
it almost looks like a World War II, and it's one of those turrets for a B-17.
Okay, how old are you?
Yeah, all right, enough of that.
So that's the name of that tune. So if we wanted to come from this side of the car, you can see that we can. Back to the car. Back to the driver, back to the lights. Now we're almost done. See, remember I told you on the last one about those lights? They do not stay adjusted. Grabbing onto that little red circle, you can adjust them up nice in here, but they don't stay. And I haven't seen one post from anybody as far as, oh, Humble, I know how to fix that. All you gotta do is this, or this. Nobody has said jack shit, so I don't think anybody knows how to do it. I surely don't, or I would do it, and it would be perfect, and that's the way it would be. All right, hit the T again, and stop, okay? Proper place. So follow straight down from the car until you get to tire blankets, and then hit the three little pigs, and it'll bring you to the screen that you need to go to. And when you get it just set for you, sit this one. I think I met Jody years ago because he was having a hard time with automatic shifting. And then somehow we found this box and we were good to go from that time on. So and if you want to get out of here, just mouse click anywhere else on the desk, on this wiggly waggly here, and you're good to go. So that's the name of that tune, guys. I hope you enjoy it. It's just a quick one, but it's important information if you want to run any of my cars. They will not run properly with if damage is on. So that's all I can tell you. Now you see.
Where are you going?
I want to see this gorgeous. This is a fucking nice car. Or excuse me, I'm trying not to cuss. This is a wonderful car. And see, we could unpack the data by hitting that button.
Yay! We unpacked the data. Let's see who Beetle Fernandez uses for a driver.
How about going up to here?
No, Hans. He uses no.
Well, you know why? Because he wants his driver not to cause any trouble with any of your games. This is meant to run in a stock Assetto Corsa area.
Area? Stock Assetto Corsa game.
He makes his mods to do that on purpose.
Let's see what he does with his power, just for the sake of we're in here now.
Alrighty. At idle, it's turned off. It's got 35 horse. And look at the increments. He really takes time to make it perfect. But you can see at $9,000, it's got 0. So it can't go any farther than 9,000. It just simply can't do it, no matter what. There's nothing left. So we can understand why There was a slight power difference if we come over to the Mustang that we ran yesterday. This little puppy. Oh, we can't do it like this. We just unpack that. Cars. Ford Mach 1. Double click the data. Come down to power. And I'll turn you on to this. This one's a little different. It starts life at 100 horsepower. And it goes up to 11,000 RPMs, and it's still got 370. So you can understand why I was able to walk away from that Ferrari without any problem yesterday. As Jody said, were you toying with that car? Yeah, but I didn't want to just blow the thing so far into the weeds that, I mean, it was a one car on the track in the picture all the time deal. And I wanted to give them a chance to outdo me. As we all know, the Ferraris are monsters when it comes to handling in the corners. We all know that. So he had a chance, more than a chance. And as a matter of fact, if the truth be known, and I'll share it with you right now before your very eyes, if I can figure out what the hell I'm doing here. That was not the only choice for a car to run against yesterday. I chose Beto Fernandez's Corvette, the ZR1 C6, and he kicked my effing ass every step of the way. There's nothing I could do with this car. Every car I ran against this, it kicked my ass. And there it is right there. I brought the yellow into the interior and into the dashboard, but that is an absolute monster. That is a monster. Except at high RPMs, it thinks it's a Learjet, but with only one wing, it needs a prayer to go with it because it goes end over end through the trees, which is kind of a pisser. And this one here you'll find is a different color. That's just a sheer black. You got to see this thing in the. Come on, stick with me just a minute. This is worth it, and then we can go on a happy note. Okay. Let me make sure I know where I am here. All right. Let's get out of here. Where's this rascal? Let's find that car. It's Chevrolet. That's not it. That's a sweetie heart, but that's not it. That's an unbelievably good mod. Don't pass that up if you can find that. BZ Simworks. That's not it. I'm having a little bit of a time here, guys. Bear with me.
I'll start at the bottom if you can't find the sumbitch.
Then there is another way to do that. Come back here like this. Go to the home. Go to the brands. Now we can find it without a problem. Go here. I don't know why it's like that from time to time. There it is right there. Okay. Come on. This is worth it. You're going to like this. Of course, this thing's pushing some serious horsepower. This has been
thoroughly squonkified.
All right, take a look at this puppy. This thing is a absolute fucking monster. In every possible way you could imagine. It is gorgeous beyond your wildest dream. It's just an absolute savage bastard. It's fabulous. And all the lights are working, and they got the guy with a goatee on, and he's looking at happy hooters in the car, keeps him smiling, and chromed the piss out of the stuff that needed chroming. The lights all work. It's got a lot of wood accoutrements to it. This is your on the way to work car if you're a very wealthy man. Isn't that something? Now we could have gotten this to light up. Maybe it is already. Let's see. Yeah, it already is. It's just subdued. Same thing with the license plates. BZ Simworks. You could, and as far as flames go, you know it's got flames. Holy moly. It's got tons of them. Now this is why, guys, I am more than reluctant to go to a different content manager. This is an older one from like a year ago or year and a half ago, because I can adjust the flames on the fly right here and watch what I'm doing. It takes tens of hours out of doing flames just guessing where it ought to be. It's a real pisser to do flames the other way, the old school way. Thanks again to Jody Parks for showing me how to do it properly. Alright, now if you wanted to see the original skin, that is a sweetheart too. Absolutely gorgeous. Now, don't ever think that I'm a skinning person, because I don't have the programs to do the work properly. I can cob some shit together, but that's the best I can do. But when it comes to real guys with Photoshop, who knows how to use Photoshop, you can really do some outstanding work with these, like the graphics and the angles and putting things where they belong, and they just go out of their way to do things like that. But like me, I made these little fuckers a different color, out of a different material. So I do little things that I can do, because I can't do the big things yet.
You know, if you can't swim in the ocean, that don't mean you can't wade in the fucking kiddie pond.
You know, just do what you can do. Have fun. And that's really the bottom line. Have fun. So guys, that's all she wrote. But what do you think of that car? Man, that is a gorgeous son of a bitch. That is one of my favorite year Corvettes as well. But I still think it's got a strange ass end on it. It's got a really weird ass. I never warmed up to that. I almost bought one of these. There was one parked right next to the Mini Cooper that I bought years ago. And it was a couple $1,000s more, and it was yellow, all yellow. But I didn't warm up to it, and I said, you know, they always say a guy with a yellow Corvette's got a little dick. So I said, I'll get a Mini Cooper instead.
And then you think you're a complete fucking idiot. But, that's their business. If you live your life to please other people, you're going to find out you're never happy, and you forget who the fuck you were.
Alright, we're out of here, guys. So you remembered how to do it. You go to cars. And
You can't do it from this. It's got to be this one here. Cars. On down, tire blankets. 3 balls. Press it, and then you can get to this place. And now we're done.
so guys, have a good day. I'll get this right up there for you. Bye-bye now.